God have mercy.
You won't need an aeroplane to travel. You will just say, I want to go to London. And you'll be in London. Whether you believe it or not, the time is coming when you won't.
I decided to play that clip, for those that Shiji was trying to convince. All right. Cement was 7,000 naira. And then the economy went sour on him, which an average businessman would tell you it is normal. Well, maybe it is true. Now, here is what we heard and confirmed. The arrangement between Peter Mbah and Sujimoto is beyond this one that is making the news. In fact, in some quarters, it is being believed that they just probably want to throw him under the bus, maybe because he's died them. So the info on these projects given to him, from what we gathered, or what I have gathered, was that each project will cost 500 million naira, each of them. And it was to build 22 at the total cost of about 11.79 billion naira. But in Nigeria, usually, right, when you are a government contractor, number one, you must have the financial capacity to embark on the project before government pays you. But because the criminal politicians, right, so they have a vested interest in the department called procurement. That is the cesspool of corruption in every state and national. In Nigeria, procurement. This is where they can say, one stick of a pen, right? This pen of 20p, they can sell it for 20 pounds or quote it for 20 pounds. Oh, let's use naira. So this pen is 100 naira. Yeah? The procurement will quote it for maybe, for instance, so they may quote each for 1,000 naira. Now, they need to buy this pen. They need to buy 100 of this pen, which in itself, for 100 naira per pair, 100 pieces, 10,000 naira. But remember, procurement would have changed it to 1,000 naira each. Instead of buying 100, instead of quoting 100 they need, they will now quote 1,000 of it. So that when the budget for pen, right, is to be quoted, you begin to see 1.2 million naira for something that is just 10,000 naira. Yeah, that's how worse it is. That is where the civil servant, the criminal politicians, they are money launderers that they called contractors or business partners and other interests. That is where the money is. So as a contractor, they are not supposed to give you any money. Until you start the work and you start showing the work, then they will release the fund in batches. So the criminal politicians would then mobilize their criminal partners called contractors. They will mobilize them with 30% of the money, 50% of the money, which in itself is unethical and it is illegal. They do it anyway. So what did they do with Sujimoto? Enugu state government, through the Ministry of Works, released 5.7 billion naira at once to this contractor. 5.7 billion. How could Sujimoto now turn around and say because cement is 7,000, the recent pictures they have taken from the ones that he's been working on. You can then put a price on it and tell me, is this what 500 million naira did? Let's factor in inflation, okay? Smart school. Would you say this? Here is one of the smart schools at Unsude, Udi local government area. This is the level of work Sujimoto has done, all right, and his contractors. Would you say this is 500 million naira worth of a project that, you know, it ran out of money? Here is another one in Udi as well. Amekenachi, what's the name of this school? Yeah. Here's another one. Right? Would you say this is 500 million naira that he ran out of money at a point? Right? Let's assume that he's telling the truth. Here is another one. Would anybody watching this on their screen right now say this cost 500 million naira, then he ran out of money? Here is another one. Does anything on your screen right now shows the value of 500 million naira for a smart school? That, okay, the contractor ran out of money because of inflation? The answer is no. It didn't run out of money because of inflation. They probably ran out of money because they ran away with their money. Do you get what I mean? That is indefensible. By all means, it is, you know, on social media right now, there are people who are trying to now turn it into a tribal thing. But here is a word for you. I mean, here is an advice for you. If you are a Yoruba that is doing tribalism, I'll say it in Yoruba, and I'll tell you why very soon. If you are an Igbo man that is doing tribalism, they do tribal, what have you, they don't swear for you. And I'll tell you why. I have said this many times on Maiyegun's Diary Political, and I will repeat it now. It is only you, the traumatized, brutalized, abused Nigerians that have, you know, so much energy to tear yourselves about because of where you come from. I'm Yoruba, I'm Hausa, I'm Igbo, I'm this or that, and all this stuff that you kind of. But when you look at the criminals, looting, pillaging, destroying that contraption, they don't have tribes. They don't have any ethnic. They don't have any religion. But they can kind of like cosplay. Yeah, they can cosplay and pretend that they are Igbos, pretend that they are Yorubas, pretend that they are Hausas, pretend that they are from your tribe. But the real thing is that they are a bunch of betrayers who hated who they are normally. And in that regard, the only thing that unites them is their greed. And their greed doesn't really care about where you come from. Doesn't. A Yoruba man from Osun State became a friend with an Igbo man from Enugu. The Igbo man became a governor. And he decided to co-opt his friend from other places to help him do whatever they were doing. Their 5.7 billion naira disappeared. That won't be their first deal. This is just the one that probably, yeah. And the only way to get the money back from him is to use the instrumentality of the law that ordinarily would have investigated and realized something was amiss. Ministry of Works, commissioners, the governor himself, other guys who are involved. That money, that before that money left the cover of Enugu state government, some people actually approved it, waiting for their own share, waiting for their turn. Sujimoto possibly shortchanged them, or, you know, it didn't give them enough. And the only way they could get the money back is to use the EFCC. They're not getting it back because he didn't do the project. They never really wanted him to do the project. You know, a few weeks ago, they were commissioning a presidential, presidential hotel, right? I'll show you that one. think Sujimoto himself released a video of how he's been going everywhere to go and see the project, blah, blah, blah. They shot at him. He had an accident, blah, 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 blah. Alaye, you the mad, you need 5.7 billion da. Hey, you the crazy, you need like, kilo happen now. They are talking about 5.7 billion. We have seen the pictures of the project. So any form of excuse, any, deflection and the rest of that can only work on the gullibles who ordinarily are waiting to be deceived. Oh, I saw this video.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Another day, another morning, me in Enugu State, trying to see what's going on my sites. And I woke up in the morning, I went to our first site. It was a very long road. Though the road is beautiful, and as usual, the Enugu people are always joyful. I went through our first site. On getting there, I met Engineer Collins, and it was very impressive as they've done so much work. They've out of the 6 blocks, they've gone to DPC level, and I see that things are going exciting and everything. Though it took us 2 hours to get there with an extremely bad road, but by the time we got here, it was so beautiful. Lots of nature, beautiful hills surrounding the school. Though it's a very new site, we just got here a couple of days ago, but I met with Engineer Benga, one of the most experienced engineer, and he's doing a great job here. So that's what I did there. And from there, I was on my way, and before I know it, the bulletproof car that we hired, the driver mistakenly hit the hillocks, bombarded the hillocks front, left, center. That we had no time. As people were arguing that it wasn't my fault, it was my fault. I had no time. I was thinking about how to reach over 10 sites today. I've jumped into my Korokwe. I called the other site to send us a car. There's no car available, so we jumped into Korokwe. I'll jump into Korokwe. We were able to visit 2 sites. The other site, the DPC level is quite impressive too, but they have some material they're waiting for, so it is delaying them from reaching their true potential. So now we are here, we're finished from here, and as we're going back, I decided to stop in the famous Inyi market, one of the biggest markets, 2.5 hours away from Enugu State. But it's very impressive how you can see people from the state. They're very enterprising, always moving, always joyful, people doing their businesses and extremely busy, just like the Balogun market in Lagos. But it's exciting. You see the incredible Igbo people. No matter where you find them, in the sun, in the desert, in the villages, they're always looking for opportunities to visit. So I decided to go and buy some water, and boom, before I know it, my other Lexus car is here, so that I can jump on and continue my day. Thank you, and this is Sujimoto.
Sujimoto. He's living the life. He's connected. He's what do you call that thing again? Like you are balling with the big boys, doing all their dirty work. Then they couldn't wait, that they feel like he's trying to kind of run them straight. Let the FCC get him, and then we'll tell the world, just so that people can begin to know that this is Enugu State. We do not tolerate any form of corruption. Somebody went to the newly completed and commissioned presidential hotel. Is that what you call it, though? Presidential hotel. Is that what they call it in Enugu? Yeah, the one they commissioned a few weeks ago. Somebody went in and he found this. Yeah, that's the part they didn't show you. Just so you know. Because somebody will say, but that's the back now. You don't understand what it means to say you've completed a project and commissioned it for public use. It is only in Nigeria Aye, that country, Baba. Criminals, criminal-minded people that hate the country. They hate Nigeria. And some of you don't even understand it, that they hate the country so much. These guys will mount blocks, buildings. They will call it a hospital. And then they will commission it, only for you to go back inside and realize that there's almost nothing inside it. Baba, these guys will go out and hire hospital equipment, set them up in this their new building, bring some of their medical staffs from other hospitals. They will tell them to wear their uniform, neatly ironed, fresh. Then they will call their party people to go and get their own uniform wears to come there. They want to commission the best hospital. Then everybody will be there with so much, While they are doing commissioning, you will see the road here, uncompleted. You will see some heaps of sand here and there, but they are commissioning because it's completed. And then they will write these flowery speeches that they will tell the people. Today makes it another great day in the history of our land. Today, we are commissioning a 6,000 bed hospital, the first of its kind in the entire country, the biggest in the entire Africa today. Our people are so, and I promise you, I will do more. And once everybody leaves, they will lock the place up. I'm not making it up. Ask Edo people and Oshiomole when he brought Bokuwari in 2015 to come and commission the biggest hospital in the entire West Africa. How far with that now? How far with the biggest hospital? You remember what I'm talking about, right? These are criminals, man. Like, why would you do that to your people? No wonder none of them want to go to any hospitals they constructed. How would I build that? It's like building a new house. Or you won't sleep inside. Why? Why won't you sleep in your new house? You just constructed the best hospital. The best. But you won't go there for medical care ever. What does that tell you about these rogues? They are your leaders? Our leaders. Respect our leaders. And I'm like, are you being serious, mate? Let's leave that out and go to something else again. El Rufaya, Kaduna Littlefinger, is reported to be the guest of the Catholic Church, an Anglican Church, Catholic Church of Owerri, in Imo State. And since his arrival, he seemed to be like happy. You get what I mean? Like, he's been everywhere. El Rufaya was inside the church, telling the women and children that, listen, the level of participation in the ongoing voters registration is so low in the eastern part of Nigeria that they need to up it. Jihadists in the church, politicians. You get what I mean? That's why I said they don't have religion. I'm not saying that because I'm a Yoruba man, right? You can find me in church or mosque or shrine anytime. I'll still be comfortable. Like, because I'm a Yoruba man. I'll sing, dance with you and all of that. And I'll bring food out to go chop. For fanatics, those who call the non-Muslims infidels, filth, dirty, they actually compare those who are non-Muslims, these fanatics, they compare those who are not Muslims, they see them as worse than, shit, sort of. Because they are made to see it that way. I'm not saying all of them because I'm saying the fanatics, the extremists, in which El Rufaya has presented himself to be, as they do tell their, their